Hey, what's up, guys? Good movie this week. Very good movie. Let's get right into it. Black Panther. So Black Panther, just like Spider-Man Homecoming, takes place right after the events of Civil War, with T'Challa's father T'Chaka dying in an explosion at the United Nations. And since T'Chaka was the king of Wakanda and was the Black Panther, now that he's dead, T'Challa has to take up that mantle. And this whole movie is T'Challa not only learning how to be a great king, but also a great Black Panther. And that is especially hard for him when two people of one of the elders of the 5 tribes of Wakanda pops up again to cause trouble. And those two people are known as Ulysses Claw and Killmonger. So since we're on the subject of Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan's character, let's talk about him first. I loved him in this movie and I needed more of him. He shows up in the first part of the movie, but then for maybe 30 or 40 minutes, you don't see him again. But when he does come back into the movie, he is awesome and you are just invested in his character the whole time. But I'll get more into the character of Killmonger when I go over all the actors in this movie. So let's move on to something else for now. I would like to move on to the music of this movie. Oh my god. I didn't look up the composer for this movie, but I hear he's Ryan Coogler's choice for all of his movies. Or at least he was his composer choice for Creed. But in this movie, oh my god. He just did an amazing job. It was the normal orchestral movie music, but it had a mix in there with African drums, chanting, and windpipes, and it was just such a cool mix to listen to. If you have the chance, I recommend going to iTunes and checking out the album for this movie because I'm sure it is a masterpiece. Another thing I liked was I heard there was a lot of political stuff in this movie and I was a little worried about that. I was thinking to myself, oh my god, I hope they don't beat a political message over my head that I already know. But thankfully they didn't. Without spoiling anything, the only political message that is in this movie only applies to this movie and the world that it is a part of, which is so nice. They found a way to send a great political message, but at the same time, not so much to the point where it was beat you over the head with it, ramming it down your throat. Alright, from there, let's get into all the actors and all their performances because there are a lot of them, and let's do that before I go into some of the stuff I didn't like about this movie because it is not a perfect movie. It is a little flawed, but it was still a great watch. Let's start with the main man, Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa or the Black Panther. He was great in this movie. His performance didn't totally blow me away, but when those emotional moments came and he had to be emotional, he gave it his all. Even though his performance wasn't my favorite of the movie, I still think he did a great job as the lead. Let's move on to Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. Oh my god. This guy's performance was so magnetic. And yes, it is true what everybody is saying. This is one of the best Marvel villains out there in the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now. And what makes him a great villain is not only that he's so evil and hateful, but you can also understand and sympathize with him from where he's coming from and why he's doing what he's doing in this movie. I mean, in this movie, you do hate him the whole time because he is the villain, but at the same time, like I said, you understand where he's coming from and why he's doing the things that he's doing. Okay, so for these next few actors that are coming up, I apologize in advance if I butcher any of their names, their real life names, and their character names. They look like they're simple names, but they're really not. They have a specific way of how you have to say them, and I probably will butcher them, so I am sorry in advance. Lupita Nyong'o? She plays Nakia, I think is how you say it. She is basically an ex-girlfriend of T'Challa. She used to live in Wakanda, but now she's a spy, and she does missions outside of Wakanda in Africa. But as for a love interest and somebody that T'Challa, Black Panther, can play off of in the movie, they are a great pair. Once again, she's another one whose performance was pretty serviceable. I mean, she didn't really blow me out of the water, but she was serviceable enough for a Marvel movie. Let's move on to Denai Guerrera, I think is how you say it. I don't know. I'm so sorry. She plays Okoye. She is the head general of the Dora Milaje, who are sworn to protect the Black Panther and the king no matter what. Now, her performance is one of those that I really liked in this movie. The emotion that she gives with every line that she delivers is just so awesome. You can actually see all the emotion in her eyes and in her face, and that is what a good actor does. A good actor knows that it's not just about good line delivery, but it's also about good eye acting and face acting. Also, she must have had a ton of training with the spear that she has, because she is damn good at spinning that spear around and stabbing people with it. Let's move on to Forrest Whitaker as Shuri. You know, Forrest Whitaker plays Forrest Whitaker, basically. He's good, but I mean, he just is always pretty one note, but he was still fine. He was serviceable enough in this movie. Let's move on to Daniel Kaluuya as W'Kabi. He is the leader of one of the 5 tribes of Wakanda, and I loved him in Get Out. I thought he did a great job here, too. He did a great job at tricking you in this movie of whether he was going to go one way or whether he was going to go another way, and I thought he did that perfectly. He definitely knows how to manipulate his audience into thinking one way or another, which is another thing what a good actor does. Let's move on to Angela Bassett as Ramonda. She plays the mother of T'Challa, and what is there to say about Angela Bassett, man? She is just awesome. She is such a good actress. She puts so much emotion into everything that she does. Whenever there was very emotional scenes, like really angry scenes or scenes where she's really sad and has to cry, she did amazing. She really did. And you really felt her pain in this movie as a mother and as a widow now that T'Chaka has died. You could tell she already lost one person of her family, which was her husband, and she will do anything she can in this movie to not lose anyone else in her family. Let's move on to Andy Serkis as Ulysses Klaue. He was so damn funny in this movie. He played this like really crazy eccentric guy, and I just thought he did so amazing. I'm so excited to actually see him get in-person on-camera roles instead of him just being a CGI character all the time. Let's move on to Martin Freeman as Everett K. Ross. I was surprised. He was actually in this movie a lot more than I thought he would be from the trailers. And he did a great job. He ends up in Wakanda, and you know, Wakanda is not his home country, so why would he have any allegiance to them or would want to help them at all? But he ends up helping them, and he ends up helping them a lot, and it was great to see him on camera for just more than a couple scenes. It was actually really nice to see him help them save their country, even though he didn't have to. Let's move on to Winston Duke as M'Baku. You know, a lot of people right now are actually really impressed with his performance, and they say that he's like the breakout star of this movie. And yeah, I could see that. I mean, he was really funny in this movie when he was on screen. He didn't have much screen time, but when he was on screen, he was really funny. He was really good. Let's move on to Letitia Wright. She plays Shuri. She's the little sister of T'Challa, and now I understand when people say that she is the Tony Stark of Wakanda, because she really is. She is definitely just as smart as him, and probably even funnier than him. She is the one that comes up with, I think, most or if not all of the technology in Wakanda, and that is just amazing to me, especially when you realize how big Wakanda is. But her and Michael B. Jordan were probably my 2 favorite performances of this whole movie, and I can't wait to see her in future Marvel installments. Alright, well, phew. That was most of the actors. I didn't want to go through every single one of them because that would just take forever. So, to wrap up this review, I just wanted to talk about just one thing that I didn't like about this movie. So, for a 2018 big-budget Marvel movie, I thought the CGI could have been a little bit better. There was just some CGI in there that you could just tell was very computer-generated, and it just looked unfinished and unpolished. And there was also some bad and noticeable green screen as well. Like Finn and Rose in The Last Jedi riding a fathier, bad and noticeable. And I did say this movie is not perfect and it is flawed, and I'm sorry, but this is a big reason why my grade is not higher for this movie. The CGI got especially bad towards the end in the big third act battle, and I just didn't believe some of the stuff that was there. I'm sorry. But other than that one thing, I really recommend this movie to you guys. It is a really good movie. It is a very different superhero movie, but it is a good one. And I think if you guys give it a chance, which I'm sure you guys will, you will really like it, just like I did. I'm going to give Black Panther a B+. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.